Welcome, foolish mortals. And today on the Disney Plus project, we watched Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. We finally got around to it. It's been a while since we watched the first one, so it was a little confusing at first, but did you get kind of caught up? Okay. That's okay. That is what we watched today on the Disney Plus project. So, like I said, we've been trying to watch this one for a little while.
Yeah, but it's hard because it's not one that, like, we can watch with Aiden. Well, we could watch it with him, but he wouldn't be
interested in it.
And it's too long for us to just kind of break up over our work day.
Yeah.
So
that's the first thing, like, it's not necessarily a movie that little kids are going to like. Like, I mean, I guess it depends on your kid. Some of them might, but for the most part, they're probably not gonna.
It's just really dark, and it's not. It's just a really dark movie, and not dark in the like scary dark, but like it's literally a dark movie. Like I was complaining about not being able to see because it's dark.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one that I would probably. I mean, if Aiden really wanted to watch it, I guess we would. But yeah, it's just I don't know that most little kids would be like super into it.
Yeah, because little kids generally like bright and flashy and colorful and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's been like, I think the last time I watched the first Maleficent movie was like 6 years ago or something like that.
It hasn't been quite that long for me, but it's been a while.
Yeah. Well, it was before you and I started dating. Was the last time I watched it.
Oh, but I thought you were trying to tell me that's when I had watched it last. I was like, no, I've definitely seen it since then.
No, I was still living with my cousin when I watched it. That's how long ago
so it's been a bit for you. Yes, yeah, I've seen it more recently than that. But.
Gotcha. Yeah, so at first it was a little bit confusing, but didn't take long to get caught up.
It's not. There's not like a huge gap from like.
No.
What could have been happening.
But overall, I actually really liked this movie. I thought it was really good. What about you? What did you think?
It was so dark. I just wanted to see what was going on. It was good. I don't like the actress that plays Princess Aurora.
Elle Fanning.
Or Queen Aurora, I guess. But I really don't care for her as an actress. And it just makes, I don't know, her character just seems very fake because of her acting. And it's not, I don't know, I just don't like her acting. So I guess that's that. I don't know, like, I think the plot was good and everything like that. There's a lot of little choices that I probably wouldn't have made, and that's...
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like I'm, like, hypercritical of this movie for some reason, but, like, we're in ways that I'm not with most movies, but maybe it's just because I don't like the actress, like, the main actress, and so it makes it hard for me to watch most of the movie. Or at least anything that she's in, because... The scenes where she wasn't in it were good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have a hard time with her acting, and so.
No, I didn't have a problem with it.
It's like Kristen Stewart. Both of them, like they have like, it's the way they act. It's like it seems so fake. And I have such a hard time like relating and wanting to care.
Yeah, you have issues looking past things like that, whereas I don't.
I really have a hard time looking
past
it.
Because her acting was not good. But I can also look past that to see the rest of it.
I'm glad you can, because I couldn't. I struggled.
But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. The story that they did with it was a really interesting take on Maleficent. You know, I mean, even the first one was an interesting take on Maleficent. Like, instead of the first one, they made her like she's always been a fae, but she had wings, but they'd been cut off by the kingdom, and so then like she had to try to get her wings back, and like, and it was just really interesting take on it. and then this one kind of just went those extra steps further.
Yeah, I love that they removed Maleficent as the villain. Because now...
Yeah, she started in the first one as a villain, and then by the end of it, she was still technically a villain, kind of starting towards the end.
Well...
But then she took in...
But she's not the villain of Aurora's story anymore.
Oh, yeah.
This completely removes her. She's no longer even like a semblance of the villain. This removes the blame completely from Maleficent. And I think it's just a really interesting take in removing her as a villain. She's no longer a villain.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I liked that part of it. I liked the surprise of, that's not who really screwed everything up.
But then, especially like finding out what she actually is, finding out that she's a dark fae, and that she's not the only one. There are actually like hundreds of other dark fae, a lot more. And she ends up meeting them after she gets shot, and just like seeing that, just her being able to see that there's other beings like her was really interesting to see, because like she was trying to, it seemed like she was trying to decide whether to be really happy about it or just weirded out.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the vibe I got from it, is that she didn't know how to react to it. Which, I mean, I wouldn't either. But also that she's, like, the last descendant of the Phoenix. And so instead of a Maleficent dragon, you get a Maleficent Phoenix.
Which is, I think, kind of cool, too.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I also really liked the Raven Bear. That was great. Because the Raven from the original movie, they like made it so that the Raven can turn into or she can turn the Raven into a human to talk to him and everything. And at one point, towards the beginning of the movie, he asked, "Why don't you ever think about turning me into a bear? Did you ever think about turning me into a bear?" Because he was looking at a painting of a bear. And then later, towards the end of the movie, he was being tackled as a human. He was being tackled by like 6 or 7 guards or something like that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden Maleficent finally shows back up and he turns into a bear, but he still has like kind of a face and a beak of a raven.
Like feathers and
yeah,
stuff.
and like some feathers as well as fur. It was really cool looking.
Yeah.
I was like, I like the Raven Bear. That was great. But no, and it, like I said, it was dark, and it was also it did have a dark atmosphere to the movie.
Yeah.
As well as just the lighting being bad. Because like the whole thing is about war. The queen's trying to start a war.
Which is fine. I just need like just a little bit better lighting so that I can see what's going on in the movie.
Yeah.
But I think I had that same complaint about the first movie too. It is the dark scenes were like dark.
Yeah.
And there was not really good balance of lighting in that.
Yeah, so if you're watching this on your phone, turn your brightness all the way up.
Yeah.
That might help you out.
A lot. a lot.
So, but no, overall it was a really good movie. I really liked the way it was done. Also, the soundtrack was really good. That was one of the first things I noticed, is that the soundtrack was really good. I really enjoyed the way that they did it.
So, I was going to mention it while we were watching it. While I was watching it. Every time there is a, like, starting of war scene, they use Mars as the baseline for that sound. And I like it because, like, I know the song and I can play it and stuff like that, but, like, I feel like I've heard so many freaking renditions of Mars because of that.
Yep.
And they did use a rendition of Mars for that, like, the scene where she's, like, walking across the catwalk. And they're starting to, like, build everything prepare for the war. They use a rendition of Mars for that.
Gotcha.
That was, like, I immediately caught that. I was like, I know that song.
But yeah, no, it was. I'm really glad that I finally got around to watching this. I know we were gonna go watch it in the theater, but we never got around to it. But I'm really glad that we finally got around to it, because it was really good. Yeah. And I got to watch most of it twice that day. since we turned it on since you turned it on while I was still here.
Yep.
So, yeah, so I would definitely recommend this one. Especially if you're a fan of Disney villains, it just kind of gives you a different take on them.
I would recommend it, but I don't think that I would like pay to watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I had to buy this DVD or pay to see this in a theater, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know.
Oh.
And I would
just because of Elle Fanning.
Not necessarily that, but also like the darkness and things like that. Like I wouldn't tell somebody to go see this in theaters. This isn't going to be like one of those movies that was like, it came out in theaters, go see it, you have to go see it. I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, you can watch it when it comes out on Disney Plus. That's kind of how I feel about it. It's good, and like watch it, but it's not like one of those like you have to see it movies for me.
Yeah. I think mostly just like if you're, like I said, if you're a really big fan of Disney villains, then I definitely think it's worth watching, because it's, like I said, it's just it's a really interesting take on a Disney villain, like a original Disney villain, like what was it, the second Disney villain or third? So we made our next list of 3 movies to watch, or did we pick shows? Yeah, we picked a couple of shorts as well. So next week we'll be doing Disney Parks Sunrise, which I randomly came across last night before work, I think. And so we decided we're going to watch that one. And then after that, we are going to do Disneyland Around the Seasons, which is the 1966, like Walt Disney himself recorded talking about Disneyland. And so we were really, really interested to see that. And then after that, we are doing a couple of Spark shorts. And we're actually doing 2 of them. We're going to do Burrow and Wind.
Yeah, because they're really super short.
Yeah, because they're like 6 minutes apiece or so. Because we've already seen 1 or 2 Spark shorts.
There's a few because Aiden likes them.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing for the next couple of weeks. Like I said, next week we'll do Disney Park Sunrise. So that is it for us for this week. So thank you all for joining us this week, and hope to see you again next week. But until then, don't forget
to thank the Phoenicians.